Shabbat Shalom. It's important Shabbat as we turn to one of the sad issues in our country of gun violence that's so pervasive that kids go to school and that's sometimes the first thing that they think about. I am proud of our work in our community and how we've been active. And while there's, of course, much more to do, our state is one of the safest in the country and serves as a model for other states in terms of what you can do to prevent gun violence. I'm going to turn it over to Mike Gildesgame, one of our leaders in these efforts. And thank you, Mike, for creating the Shabbat and your activity and leadership.
Shabbat Shalom. And thank you, Rabbi Lerner. Yes, as he mentioned, Massachusetts, in fact, has the lowest rate of gun homicide in the country, along with our friends in Hawaii. But that means there are still families and individuals who suffer from gun violence in our communities all around this state. And one of the organizations that is in the leadership role is the Massachusetts Coalition to Prevent Gun Violence, which has been growing over the years and now has 125 member organizations around the Commonwealth. And I'm very pleased and honored to welcome Ruth Zakarin, who is the CEO of the Massachusetts Coalition, to lead us in the rest of the program.
Shabbat Shalom. Again, my name is Ruth Zakarin. I'm always very proud to say that I am the CEO of the Massachusetts Coalition to Prevent Gun Violence, a role that I have held for the past 5.5 years. And I've met many of you before, as I've had the honor of being here at Temple Amuna many a time with my friend Mike Gildesgame, who also serves as a board member for the coalition and has been with us pretty much since moment one of our existence. So I want to appreciate him and all of his efforts over the years, because when he talks about the way that the coalition has grown, he has been a huge part of that growth. So thank you. So at the coalition, we approach the issue of gun violence as a public health crisis that is largely driven through racial and economic disparities, and that requires a holistic approach for us to be able to move the needle. And while Massachusetts is now the safest state in the country when it comes to gun violence, we still know that gun violence impacts way too many families and way too many communities. And our work is to ensure that not one more life is lost to gun violence here in Massachusetts. And the way that we do that is by looking at strengthening our policies, making sure that we're investing in community-based solutions as well as the communities most impacted, and also paying attention to data and research to help lead us forward in the work of solutions. The coalition has grown a lot in the past 5.5 years. When I came on board, I was the first full-time staff member, and we are now a humongous staff of 4. But that is still a lot of growth and development, and we're very excited that we have had the impact that we've had in the Commonwealth. We are also excited for the work ahead. And we talk about our work in 4 main pillars. Advocacy, both at the State House and the municipal level, to create stronger policies and make sure that we are investing in the work that we know saves lives. Education, bringing the work forward to communities across the Commonwealth, public-facing events, workshops, and trainings, as well as a curriculum that we have developed for young people, where we talk about root causes of gun violence, what solutions look like, and also what does it look like to advocate, to walk into the State House or to walk into City Hall and advocate for the things that you know will make your community safer. We do a great deal of coalition building with our many member organizations, with the folks who are doing this work across the Commonwealth. And we also do a great deal of community organizing. We have a full-time organizer who works in communities that have been most impacted by gun violence to really think about what solutions look like and how we can support that work. And there's 2 pieces that I just want to highlight super quickly. And one is that advocacy work. Many of you may know that just this past July, we got a comprehensive law passed in Massachusetts to update our response to guns and gun violence. And it includes many components regulating ghost guns, doing a more comprehensive job of looking at the data collected from guns in the aftermath of a shooting to understand where the guns are coming from, expanding who can petition for an extreme risk protection order to include medical and mental health providers, as well as looking at equity and how we fund violence intervention across the state. We then learned a few weeks later that the NRA, the local arm of the NRA, was collecting signatures to put a question on the 2026 ballot to repeal the law in its entirety. So that will be happening, and we will be working over the next almost 2 years to ensure that we protect this legislation. And the other piece of work that I wanted to mention is our organizing work. I talked about how we go into communities that have been most impacted by gun violence to really look at what safety looks like. And that work has focused on Boston, Brockton, Springfield, New Bedford, and also more recently, Lynn, which is how I got to meet my friends who are with me this morning for a discussion about the impact of gun violence in Massachusetts. And I've been very grateful to get to know both Faustina Cuevas and Ivelisse Garcia, who I'll tell you a bit more about before they come up to join us to talk about the work that they have been doing. But this work in Lynn has been incredibly meaningful. It started with a high school teacher reaching out to us so we could come and speak with students there. Then it expanded into a community forum, bringing folks together, again, in conversation about what safety can look like, and also to be able to support the efforts that are happening in the Lynn community. And so I'm excited to be here today with Faustina Cuevas, who has over a decade of diversity, equity, and inclusion experience in multiple sectors. And now Faustina is tasked to help elevate to the cultural diversity of her hometown of Lynn and create more access and inclusion for the community as the city's first DEI officer, which is a huge role. And I'm also very excited to announce that she is one of our newest board members of the Massachusetts Coalition to Prevent Gun Violence. So she is now a part of the coalition family as well. And Ivelisse Garcia, who is a passionate gun violence prevention advocate and a dedicated mother who turned her personal tragedy into a driving force for change. After the heartbreaking murder of her son, Jandrell Heredia, in 2023 due to gun violence, she transformed her grief into action, and her family established the Jandrell Heredia Scholarship, with the first recipient being named in 2024, at an event that I was honored to attend. So with that background, I would love to invite both Faustina and Ivelisse to join us this morning.
Getting prepared for the tears. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here, especially if it's to bring awareness to this crazy epidemic that hurts so many families. My name is Ivelisse Garcia. I'm the mother of Jandrell Heredia, a young man full of life, full of dreams, full of goals. But those goals and those dreams were cut very short. At the young age of 21, my son had obtained his plumber's license. He opened up his own detail shop, which was his passion. His passion was to clean cars and just make them shine. And also he was going to community college, where in his first semester, he got into the Dean's List. He got into the honor roll program. But again, all this was cut very short. So here, no family should go through the pain that I'm going through, the emptiness of having a loved one missing from celebrations, from just goals, achievements. So I ask that we all come together and try to stop all this violence so that no family goes through the pain that I'm going through and the rest of my family are going through. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibe. My name is Faustina Cuevas. Thank you for having us. It's our first time in a Jewish temple, and it's been really, really welcoming. So I just want to say thank you for that. Just the greetings and the warm welcomes, and I don't think it'll be my last time. So thank you. So as a person of faith, it is hard to make sense of tragedy. Especially when it was someone that you felt in your core didn't deserve to go out in such a tragic and horrific way. And one of the things that we keep telling ourselves is that we need to keep his legacy alive. And we have established a scholarship in his name, as Ruth mentioned. And we are going to continue the work, and the whole sort of mission of our scholarship is turning tragedy into triumph. And I just want to talk a little bit more about what the scholarship is. So we're working with the Lynn Hispanic Scholarship Fund because we are yet not ourselves a nonprofit. As you may know, if you have a nonprofit, you know that that's sort of a process to establish. So in the meantime, we are working with the Lynn Hispanic Scholarship Fund to be able to administer the scholarship. So the scholarship is given to a young man who embodies everything Jandriel was, that entrepreneurial spirit, someone who is really excited to continue their education and professional growth. So we did give our first scholarship away, and that student ended up going to Northeastern University in Boston. So that was really excited that we got to play a small role in that journey. So we're getting ready to give away our second scholarship this June. It's an annual gala that takes place. So we need your support. So if you do find it in your heart, if this is an issue you're passionate about, we are in full fundraising mode. We would love your support so that we can continue making sure that these young people are getting funds so that they can get inspired to do something positive with their lives. And that's our whole goal, is to continue this work so that young people know that there's an alternative way, right? There has to be a way out of this. And you don't need to resort to violence, right? So it really is a double-sided issue, right? It's the prevention issue. It's also an education issue. It's the village mentality, right? How do we all, when we're seeing young people who have aspirations and hopes, how do we inspire them? How do we push them? What can we be doing as a village to be a part of that growth and change so that tragedy and young people like Jandriel, who deserve to be here today, can live fulfilling lives? So we both have a commitment after this, so we can't hang around, although we would love to mix and mingle because, again, we feel so welcomed. Ruth is happy to share a little bit about how to get in touch with us if you are interested in donating or just learning more about our goals and aspiration for this scholarship, because this is just the beginning. We're both born and raised Lynners, and this is something that's really a passion for us, and we want to make sure that we do right by Jandriel and our community, who deserves a lot more. So thank you. It's been very humbling being here, and I've learned so much. And like I said, as a person of faith, it's been, I'm honored that you had us here today. So thank you.
Really moved to have you here as well, and I invite everyone to take action. We'll be sending out ways you can be supportive of the coalition and this project, and also to be advocates, to continue to figure out how people can make this the safest world that we want it to, that we know it can be. And we pray that all those who have lost their lives in this continuing epidemic, may their memories be for a blessing.